Do you think that we are in a bubble?
We are very early. Everything is booked out in 26. All the GPUs are booked out. TSMC's capacity is 100% all the way to 2027.
While tech giants lock users into their ecosystems, Alex Yeh, founder and CEO of GMI Cloud and one of the only 6 reference platform NVIDIA Cloud Partners globally, is breaking that barrier.
The vision is to build the AI internet. The mission is to allow any enterprise, any startup founders, or any creator to use AI instantly. I accept the world that we were going to live in multi-chip world, multi-cloud world, and multi-model world. No one wants to get tied in. We have 0-day support on every single model. Within 24 hours, we'll have these models come out. It's all on our platform. We want to be agnostic and enable anyone to build cool things.
Today, GMI Cloud powers the AI revolution across 3 fast-growing categories: software copilots, video and image generation, and AI companions.
And now knowing how to hire a team like great engineers from Google X and give them the vision of the changing the world.
Everyone is super hardworking and doing everything they could instead of saying, oh, this is not my job, my scope of work, right? We do everything fast and together. That builds a culture, and that culture attracts more and more talented and amazing people to join us. We also get previews. Before they release, they tell us. They're like, oh, 3 days before, oh, you gotta try it with significant discount. And we're like, oh, hell yeah, dude. That's good, really good for our engineers, because engineers just want to try new and cool models before everyone does.
But GMI Cloud isn't just about today's AI.
We haven't even discussed the world model, which is true world understanding. I think that's true AGI. It will expand our capabilities. Film industry will be cracked. Gaming industry will also be cracked.
If GMI Cloud is truly accessible to your widest stream, what do you think the world will look like?
People won't talk about AI anymore. They just think it's...
We're again joined by Alex Yeh, founder and CEO of GMI Cloud, also known as General Machine Intelligence Cloud. A third-generation entrepreneur and graduate of Johns Hopkins, Alex bridges the gap between massive capital management and cutting-edge hardware. Before GMI, he served as a partner at Infinity Ventures Crypto, a subsidiary of the $4.5 billion Headline Group. Today, he leads one of only 6 reference platform NVIDIA Cloud Partners globally, operating 9 data centers across the US and Asia. As a young CEO, Alex is on a mission to build the AI internet, combining a bold desire for innovation with a deep commitment to energy sustainability and ethical AI that he can proudly stand by for generations to come. In part 1, Alex shared his journey from 5th-grade entrepreneur to crypto VC and how China's Bitcoin mining shutdown forced him to build 3 data centers in the US in just 2 years. Then, 2 years ago, when GPT-3 launched, VCs kept asking him for GPU cards for AI training. Alex saw the wave and pivoted GMI Cloud to AI infrastructure. He explained that we're moving from a retrieval-based internet, where everything is stored and ranked, to a generative AI internet, where information is created in real time the moment you need it. This shift requires completely different infrastructure. That's where we left off. I asked, how can GMI Cloud make this vision real faster? In part 2, we shift from the how to the what's next. Alex Yeh dives into the multi-everything world we now live in, multi-chip, multi-cloud, and multi-model. He argues that true innovation happens when developers aren't locked into a single provider. We explore the AI factory concept, where energy has replaced chips as the primary bottleneck for scaling intelligence. Alex also provides a fascinating look at the global market split, explaining why Asia is dominating the creative AI landscape with companion bots and video generation. Finally, he reveals his long-term vision for general machine intelligence, a world where AI is so deeply integrated into our lives that we simply stop calling it AI and start treating it as a new form of life. Please subscribe and turn on notification so you never miss the next one.
So the vision is to build the AI internet. And how we get there is the mission, right? The mission is to allow any enterprise, any startup founders, or any creator to use AI instantly. Because right now, AI is so costly. GPUs is so expensive, right? Not many people can enjoy these services. So what we want to do is to break that barrier and make it seamless and easy. So from offering these high performance compute on a bare metal format that people can use and utilize the full 100% of the raw power, right? To startup founders or creators that's like, hey, I'm not going to rent GPUs, but I just want to use, you can say 30 seconds of pulling your API or even interact with our console to generate this image or video, right? So we want to make that barrier much lower. And right now we're thinking, okay, you know what? Having these snapshot of these models, we have over 60 plus models, right? Full modality. That's not enough, right? Because people are building workflows, right? You're using multiple models together. You mentioned that you're building agent. I'm sure you're using more than one models, right? For your businesses, right? So we built our own version of workflow, so you can drag and pull different models, right? On top of us. And so we want to make sure that anyone can build things quickly. That's why I want to be an AI builder cloud, right? I want to enable builders to build really interesting and amazing applications.
What is your vision ahead for how GMI's software layer will evolve that will enable faster model building?
Yeah. So for example, right, if you use hyperscalers, they're kind of all in different camps, right? For example, AWS would be Anthropic, right?
Right.
Google would have their own Gemini series, right?
Yeah.
And OpenAI obviously with Azure. But we have all three.
Yeah, that's good.
And we also have all the open source models.
So you offer actually such an awesome value, which is like every cloud provider is trying to lock you in. As an agent builder, I know that Google always sells you Gemini. As a technical, their true intention is to sell you the Google Cloud.
Correct.
And so you offer these values that people are able to access all models on.
I accept the world that we were going to live in multi-chip world, as well as multi-cloud world and multi-model world in the future. No one wants to get tied in, right? And that's why there's also room for neoclouds to grow.
Yeah,
it's because, for example, I'm sure you interview a lot of great CIOs or CEOs. I have never seen any CTO said, "Oh, my cloud build is very cheap."
Never.
Right?
Yes.
I think there's now in the CPU world, there's a diminishing return of how the hyperscalers can serve their customers. They just built in an inflation adjustments, right? Increasing that build every 2-3% because they know your data is here. You can't leave.
Right.
But GPU world, we can get to build this from the ground up, right? And so we're offering very differentiated services to our customers.
Yeah. So that's also related to another topic I would love to hear your thoughts, because there's closed source, there's open source.
Yeah.
A lot of the US model builders like Gemini, OpenAI, they build on top of closed source models.
Yes.
Hope to lock people in their own platform or their cloud partners. At the same time, there's also open source models. What is your take about this closed source, open source war we are in?
I think it lives in harmony and it pushes the world to be a better place. What I mean by that, right? I think we can draw the same parallel to the chip world. Chip war, right? Back in the day, it's all x86. And there's ARM, there's RISC-V, right? There's different new architecture that pushes the other side to have better and faster innovation. If without DeepSeek, which is open source model, that I think Sam Altman proudly claimed before that, it's like, oh, no one's ever going to be better than us, right? And got passed. And so other companies were like, oh, DeepSeek did it, I can do it too, right? And so it promotes competition and better model services, right? And now we have basically open source models just right after, if not like only a couple months behind these closed source models. Right. So I think it just pushes us to have a better things. And also it can be used for different applications. Right. Closed source models, well, unfortunately, data sensitive companies are not going to use it. Right. Because I'm not going to send my patient info or insurance info to ChatGPT. You can. Right. If I'm doing chip design, do you think, or TSMC, do you think they can upload any of that data to closed source? No way. They're like, it has to come on-prem. It has to be in my data center. Right. And so there's room for these open source models, right? And these open source models, because enterprise uses these open source model, well, they can use it for general purpose, but a lot of them are used on production, right? And they have a lot of proprietary data, and they can do fine tuning, all kinds of fine tuning, supervised fine tuning or RL fine tuning on top of their own data sets on the open source models, right? For their specific application.
Right.
And so the world is so big, right? It's not just models for everything, but it will have verticalization and specialization on each and individual applications.
Yeah, exactly. And like you mentioned, these two can coexist and actually help each other, right? This is an ecosystem involves. I wonder from GMI Cloud's perspective, what is the strategy? What is like a percentage efforts you put on open source models in your platform or closed source?
We follow both.
We
follow both. We have 0-day support on every single model that comes out, including WAN 2.6, right? That just came out. 0-day support. Within 24 hours, we'll have these models come out, including Gemini 3, VO3, all these closed source models, right? It's all on our platform. We want to be agnostic. We want to be able to serve customers whatever they want. They don't have to be tied in to GCP in order to get Gemini series. They don't have to get tied into OpenAI in order to get, all the GPT 5.2 or whatnot. We want to be agnostic and enable anyone to build cool things.
Yeah, so you do the hardcore things on your side, hard things, so that your customers...
we host every model.
Yeah. So I'm very curious, like that must be a lot of work. How big is the team?
The team is like 100 plus people, like 120 maybe.
120, and you can like host all the models. And I wonder what is the compositions of the team? Is mostly engineers or
60+% are engineers.
Yeah. And how do you organize the team? How I now know you how the team from great engineers from Google X and give them the vision of the change in the world. And when they join your company, how do you manage the team so that they can actually do a great job? Or manage and motivate them? Yeah.
Motivate them. I think it's based on the culture and the initial lieutenants that I have, right? Of that everyone is super hardworking and doing everything they could instead of saying, oh, this is not my job, my scope of work, right? We do everything fast and together. Whenever things that needs to get done, we kind of do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that builds a culture, and that culture attracts more and more talented and amazing people to join us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like you mentioned, fast learner, move fast.
Yeah. And I think instead of joining a larger company, joining us allow engineers to hold a lot more responsibility as to only seeing one part. For example, we have a small team of, I think, only a couple people handle the entire video models. Maybe 2-3 people.
2-3 people for the entire video models.
Video models. That's you. That's you guys.
Okay.
You're responsible for basically 0-day support, right? They have a lot of power. They can play with these GPUs and trying on these latest models that they wouldn't be able to, right? We also get previews. We get all these large model companies, when they release, pre-release, before they release, they tell us. They're like, 3 days before, you got to try it. With significant discount. And we're like, oh, hell yeah, dude. I think that's good, really good for our engineers, because engineers just want to try new and cool models before everyone does. We got
the coolest boy on the street. Yeah.
That's like, in 1 week time will come out, but you guys don't know, but we know.
So is the team a global team with mostly US?
Yeah, global team.
Global team. So you also run the team globally and also have data center globally. How do you manage a global team?
I think I just sleep less.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have I'm either in Mountain View or I'm on the plane, flying somewhere. Or on the way to airport.
Yeah. I think you need Elon Musk's rocket.
That'd be great.
Cool. All right. So another thing I want to touch is that GPU spaces is also pretty competitive spaces.
Yes, definitely.
what is your view about competition in this space?
Everyone have their own niche, I would say, right? There's definitely overlaps. There's definitely overlaps, but everyone kind of does their own niche. For example, I have the entire Asia Pac market, and Asia Pac is very fragmented compared to US, for example, right? And so you really have to dig deep into each region.
Right.
That's why some other peers and other companies, they're like, oh, I'm going to do JV. No, it's not going to do well for you. After JV, nothing is going to happen, right? You need your own team to push locally and understand the market, the dynamic, and who's who that can help you penetrate the market, right? And so that's definitely, I would say, very important, right? That's why we are known as kind of the CoreWeave of Asia.
Yeah,
we have a significant presence there.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And what we also known as is the performance that we can get, because coming from kind of the supply chain world of Taiwan, and control of the servers. I'll tell you a secret, right? We even code our switch.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we want to do parallel inferencing.
Right.
You need to control the switch.
Yeah.
Right? In order to separate out the models, the MOE models, right? Multiple experts into individual GPUs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we want to separate out the compute workload on memory-bound problems and compute-bound problems into two sets of GPUs.
Right.
If you don't have these low-level control, you won't be able to do anything. Right? If you VM everything, no way, you can't touch it. Right? Even if the customers want to do it, they can't.
Yeah.
Right? That's why we have a significant performance difference.
Yeah.
And this also is an interesting thing that we know it works, is we can mix heterogeneous chips together.
So tell us more, because this is actually sounds very interesting technology.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's compute bound and memory bound. Right?
Yeah.
AMDs, they have MI 350, right? I think. Massive memory. Right?
Yeah.
But their compute is okay.
So you can mix AMD and NVIDIA chips
It's theoretically possible, right? And we have tested it, but we just prefer to stay on NVIDIA stack because we're short-staffed at this moment. We don't want to expand into different tech tree yet.
Yeah.
Right? But we want to stick with the NVIDIA gears because the NVIDIA stack also upgrades every single year, right? There's H1s, H2, B2, B3, GB2, GB3s.
Yeah.
So we just follow that tech tree, right? And then it works. But we can also mix and match the older generations of GPUs together. Right?
So you can have all sorts of GPU, maybe even the GPU for Bitcoin mining.
Well, that is different. That is different. That's ASIC. That's ASIC. They can't do anything. But different kinds of older GPUs, yes.
Yeah.
So for example, like people use our API, right? We don't tell them like what's behind the APIs, right? Which powers it. But we can mix a cluster of H1s and H2s together.
So you can dynamically choosing which chip is faster, which chip is more, can give you more capacity and do this intelligently.
100%.
So that is some proprietary software you built to enable that. Is that also the reason why
Google X team.
Google X team. Yeah, I know they are very good at doing all these things. So is that a reason that you can do it cheaper by mixing different chips and faster? Yeah.
3x. 3 to 4x.
3 to 4x cheaper than...
Yeah, higher throughput, right? Higher throughput means, cheaper cost.
Yeah, that's cool. You also mentioned about NVIDIA. I know you are one of the only 6 NVIDIA NCP, NVIDIA Cloud Partners globally. How did that happen?
Well, it's definitely an invite-only process, right? We slowly leveled up our capabilities, right? From the software stack to the capital that we need, the data center locations. We offer very unique services. Again, across all the other 6 peers, right? CoreWeave, Lambda, etc. Everyone is regional based. Everyone's either US or Europe, or maybe both. We are Asia and US. That gives us a very unique edge. And we have really great amazing enterprise customers as well as developers across all these regions.
It's related to another point because you mentioned about a lot of AI innovation happen in Asia as well. And Asia is a very important market, oftentimes is underestimated by people in the US. What would you say how the Asia market look like compared with the US?
Yeah, so US definitely leads in terms of foundational model research, either pre-training or post-training, and some inferencing, right? But Asia leads in terms of inferencing, absolutely inferencing, right? And there's three areas or three categories that's fast growing. One is software copilot, right? As we all know, like there's a lot of dev shop, right? And a lot of developers in Asia, right? Across like Vietnam, Taiwan, China, Japan, etc. Right? And the use of copilots, I mean, coding copilots, right?
Copilot,
are bananas, growing really fast, right? And that's one. Number two is the video and image gen, right? Image gen can be used for advertisements, can be used for all the e-commerce, and all the e-commerce are all from Asia, right? Exactly. Even on Amazon, right? Most of them are all the laobans are all in Asia.
Exactly.
They need the entire marketing team to do all the advertisements, right? Product placements, right? And don't mention short videos.
TikTok.
How many videos that you see online are kind of AI generated? All come from Asia.
Exactly.
Right? So they need all the GPUs there.
Right.
And third is AI companions. That's also huge across East Asia and Southeast Asia. Right. And you can't wait for your AI friend to respond after 1 second, right? It has to be below 50 milliseconds or less. So having GPUs close to the customer is important.
The application layers of the Asian market and the US market is involved independently. Actually get a lot of different insights coming. Like Asia, like companion is very strong. Like marketing, the video generation is very, very strong. In the US, people are working on the business cases, lawyers, doctors. And what do you think about the trend in the future? Do you think that these two markets, in terms of the applications, will continue evolving like this, or eventually they will merge? What would be the future you predict?
I think it's kind of like the questions that you ask, like open source and closed source. They're going to copy each other. Right? I think back then, like 10 years ago, there was a trade, the China-US trade, essentially. It's like, oh, what is great in the US? Let's move to China. Right? Let's do it again. Copy to China. Same thing. But now, damn, TikTok is great. Right? Let's copy to the US. That's Instagram. Let's do Reels. Right? Let's do the stories. Same thing. It's like, Asia is doing this. It's great. Right?
The idea diffuse.
It's all the ideas diffuse. And Asia just have a lot more people. Right? And so whatever model that's moderately successful, let's copy in US, right? Same thing. Right? It's all these like note takers and so forth, right? They should exchange info. So it's really good for everyone.
Right. So another areas I would like to touch about is that you have mentioned that knowledge is the biggest constraints in the entire market. Not chips, not talent, it is knowledge. Can you tell us more why you think that way?
We have gone a long way expanding our footprints, right? From no data centers to 9 data centers in 2 years. We have scaled to a moment where we need to get much, I would say, larger customers. And the problem is we have all the money we have in the world and customer contracts, but I can't fill it because there's no place to place it. Just like when I started in the Bitcoin mining world, which is I have my servers, it's in China, right? Or it's in TSMC, but I can't move it out. It's collecting dust. I need somewhere to put it, right? Right now, the power grids in the US, there's nothing above 10 megawatts. Nothing. So I have to build it myself.
So you have to build your own power plant in order to make it happen?
I'm exploring, yes. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So actually walk us through what is the process of building your own cluster? Like, do you need to figure out power plant first, or what exactly the process is like? Yeah.
Increasingly, as we're chasing and talking to larger customers, we have to control the real estate. And so the latest is I literally just got a power shell. Right? No cooling. We had to put the cooling ourselves. We need liquid cool. They have no pipes. So we put in the pipings ourselves. Right? So because we gone to a size of what we're building is called AI factory. Right? It's not just, the server is different. No, it's not that. It's the entire rack design, entire power distribution, cooling distribution, right? Piping design.
Yeah.
Different.
Right.
So I have to build everything myself from the ground up, control from the ground up. That's called AI factory. That's what we're building, right? And in the future, right, which is planning, what we're building 3x the size of what we're doing. So for example, I'll share with you, there's a project that we're building. It's a 10,000 GB 300, the liquid cool cluster in Taiwan right now.
Wow.
It's the first of its kind in Asia. The first, right? And the equivalent compute, right, is 100,000 H100 in terms of compute power. You can't imagine that 2 years ago. Just look how fast the entire industry have gone, right? So 10,000 chips.
Right.
1 versus 10, right? It's crazy. And we're building something that's much larger in the US, right? And now we have to control even the real estate itself and the power that comes in, because there's not enough power that goes into these servers.
All the problems we are facing eventually will become energy problem because like all this AI computation will turn energy into intelligence.
Yes.
In some sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and you mentioned about like actually it takes a very heavy infrastructure. You need to buy the real estate. You need to like install your own pipe. That all requires investment. And we are currently in the AI boom. Like the OpenAI, they raise 500 billion to continue building centers. Everyone is like trying to raise more money. Do you think that we are in a bubble?
We are very early, I have to say. Right. I'll give you 2 answers. I'll give you the hedge fund answer first, okay? Because I'm very close to the supply chain, right? In Taiwan, everything is booked out in 26. All the GPUs are booked out. TSMC's capacity is 100% all the way to 2027.
Oh, 2027.
Yes, 2 years later.
Wow.
So that's the hedge fund answer. That's the math answer, right?
Right.
All the power signed. If you're a frontier lab, try to find a 2,000 plus cluster. Doesn't exist. You can't find anything. Right. That's the numerical number. And I'll give you, I would say, a product answer. Right. Here's the waves that I've seen. Right. 2 years ago, it was just LLMs. Right? A bunch of LLMs that came out. And then it diverged into multimodal models and then into post-training on the LLMs, right? RL on all kinds of applications. Right. And the cool thing is RL is you can't generalize the whole thing, right? You have to train it for individual task. Right? Yeah. And so there's basically unlimited things that you'll be able to solve just on that side, on this sector. Right. And on the multimodal wave, we have just cracked video. And like video quality isn't like pixel perfect yet. Right. Generation. But it's gone very close. That's just video understanding. Right. But we haven't even mixed video and LLMs together. Right now we're doing a trick. Right. We're kind of putting a classifier model on top of that and putting LLMs and videos together. But in the future, we have to put videos, image, LLMs all together, audio models all together. That's one sector. And we haven't even discussed the world model which is true world understanding, right? Is right now, I think, arguably, unfortunately, sometimes dog is smarter than LLMs, not LLMs, models, right? The dog can understand, be perceiving the world much better than a robot can. Right? Yeah. Because it has the real world context. Robots right now doesn't have real world context. And so I think that whoever can crack that world model, basically how I define it as real world understanding, that you can pick up a cup without not through 1,000 times training. Right?
Yeah.
To understand and perceive the world. And that's true game changing. And we haven't cracked that yet. Right? And with that, we'll have robotics and so forth. So I actually want to answer your question, like from earlier. You said, what does the name GMI come from? General Machine Intelligence, right? I think people is like, oh, AI is taking humans' job, right, and so forth. But actually, I think it's just another silicon life form, right? It's just machine intelligence. So I think it's a continuation of the carbon intelligence, right? A machine intelligence, it's just a plus that can expand our life beyond Earth. And if we can generalize that, a general machine intelligence, I think that's true AGI. It will expand our humankind, a carbon life form, to beyond Earth and beyond our capabilities, and solve the most difficult problems and visit the most difficult uninhabitable places in the future.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's why I believe in the general machine intelligence. It's an extension of the carbon life form.
Yeah, that's a very great lane, and beautiful visions. And I love what you mentioned about there's so many interesting applications that we haven't even cracked the surface yet. And that's actually related to another question I have, is that a lot of people, they are talking about scaling law is slowing down.
Yes.
And from your perspective, do you think scaling law matters, or still matters, or does it scale? What is your take on
it? On LLM, of course. On LLM, it slows down, right?
But there's like a lot of new applications.
There's new applications, right? And I forgot the number. Don't quote me. But internet's very vast, but we exhausted it. Right?
Yeah.
But most of the data is actually stored privately.
Right. Yeah.
I think 60+%.
Right.
And we haven't used that yet. And that's just LLMs.
Yeah.
We haven't used image and videos and text all together, or PDFs, right? All kinds of different file types. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't want to call it LLM anymore, right? I want to call it large models.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a language model. It's just a machine intelligence.
Intelligence model.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool. So there's a lot of great things we need to do, that I think a lot of great things will happen in the next few years. And like you mentioned, there's a lot of breakthrough every week. Like it has been 3 years. It hasn't stopped yet. Every week, this morning I saw the Gemini 3.0 flash, they come out.
Yeah.
From your perspective, what are the areas that you feel most excited in the next 6 months?
Next 6 months. I think it's in probably the video model space. It's really exciting. And I see that just think about like 2 years ago.
Right.
We have Will Smith eating the noodle spaghetti. It was
Can you imagine that?
Horrible.
Yeah, it feels like 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
But it's only
and
2
today,
years.
it's great. Right.
Yeah.
But you can still see a couple of things. But now, like, we even was able to do the fingers perfectly right now. Right. Yeah. But sometimes the pores are too perfect. So you can tell, that's probably AI. Right. But a lot of times, right, even like the cute videos on Instagram and things like that, I couldn't tell. Right. So I think in the future, in the next 6 months, we will have even better quality videos. I think we'll reduce cost on different product placement, advertisement, film industry. I'll share with you.
Yeah.
We have the first AI video movie production company using us.
Wow. Wow.
Maybe not 6 months. In 2 years,
Yeah.
they're going to come out with 100% AI generated movie. 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right now, all the clips are like 5 seconds, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
2 hours.
I would be very looking forward to watching
Sick.
that. Yeah.
Right? Imagine the cost, right? All the big videos or movies were like, oh, each costs like 300 million, a billion. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like when James Cameron did all this Avatar thing, like the CG is extremely expensive.
$1 billion plus.
Yeah, $1 billion
My
plus.
God. Yeah. And how tedious it is to make animation, put dots and everything, explode things, you know.
Yeah, so I think film industry is a super exciting industry.
Super cool.
I would like to dive a little bit deeper on that, since you mentioned about the video is a spaces that you feel very exciting in the next 6 months. So OpenAI obviously is a leader in the spaces, and they released Sora.
Yes.
And it was a hit. But recently also a lot of people say like the retention is not very good in the Sora. What is your take about these video generation applications? Like, what do you think needs to happen before people start to actually use it daily or become like a next phenomenal product like TikTok? Yeah.
I think video generation is a tool, right? It's a model. It just depends on how you use it, right? And Sora is something that people are exploring, but it may not be in the format of social media, right? Each generation of AIs will have different applications, right? So we may not have a social media, right? But it could be a very useful tool. Maybe it's another Adobe. Right? It very could be, right? It's proven that it can be Adobe. And if you can change the products and change the characters as you wish, right? Then it will be powerful. Because I think in the film industry right now, the problem is like, oh, I just want to use this actor's face, right? It's not, I can't type the same prompt, but with swapping the faces out, right? So if you can get to that level of control, right? Film industry will be cracked. Video gaming industry will also be cracked. Right? And
gaming is very huge.
Gaming is huge.
It
powered the biggest of the companies. Like people think Tencent, oh, it's WeChat. No, it's a gaming company. It's the biggest gaming company in the world. Right?
Like there's a couple, like you mentioned a great point. Like when everyone talk about industry, they like to talk about SaaS, which is as if it is the only industry. But oftentimes there's a lot of industry like gaming when nobody talks about it, but it's like huge.
Do you know just the skin trade alone? Do you know like the gaming, like video gaming skin, like League of Legends, I want to change like to gold skin, whatever. Do you know what skin trade alone is?
I don't know. What is it?
It's 100 billion trading volume.
What?
It's $100 billion a year.
Wow.
On virtual skin.
Wow.
And the entire video gaming industry, right? Is the combination of the entire US sports plus Hollywood combined and bigger. That's gaming.
Wow, that's really
massive. And building a game is so hard, especially a AAA game. Right? Back in the days, Blizzard, it took them 10 years to build a world hit.
Exactly,
Right? Even right now, AAA games takes 5+ years. Like if you know like any animation or like gaming experts, damn, each character takes so long. All the world creation, super tough.
Yes,
right? But if you have like AI generations, create 3D assets, and
that can change the whole industry.
The cost, right? And also the timing.
When everyone talk about AI, they typically talk about Copilot.
That's
just one of the applications. There's many other applications like gaming, entertainment, film industry, traditional industry. That's gonna be revoluted, and the application on top of it, I think it's like you mentioned about Sora to TikTok. You probably couldn't just copy TikTok and just replace the supply side to be AI, and you hope to create a next generation.
And I think what my job is to build a good enough tool so that a product genius can take that models and build something.
Be enabler.
Enabler. Right? I'm probably not going to build the next social media, but someone can.
Yeah.
Right. And why does it have to be a social media format? It could be a complete brand new industry and businesses that we don't even imagine.
Right.
Maybe it's not search. Maybe it's not social media. Maybe it's just something else. Maybe it's just a general intelligent agent that just does everything, right? It could be $1 trillion, $10 trillion business on its own.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot, actually, like you mentioned, we're just like very beginning. There's a lot of opportunity that needs to be cracked. And I'm also curious, if you are going to advising someone who want to be a founder today, what advice would you give to them?
Persistence.
Persistence?
Yeah, persistence.
Keep trying.
Keep trying. You don't have to be like, even though Silicon Valley favors it, you don't have to be a technical founder, right?
Yeah.
You can just have really amazing team to support you, right?
Right.
And I think the key trait is when you commit, just go do it and all in, and don't hesitate and be persistent, because in the startup journey, 99% of the time is just terrible and you feel horrible, right? But you just have to be persistent and stay in the game.
Yeah. Be persistent and stay in the game. And I think you are proof of that. Like when your Bitcoin mining business was wiped out in one day, you didn't give up. You persist.
Yeah.
You turned that into GMI Cloud.
I have to say, like all the folks that went in 2017 with me, the people who stayed in the game, all made money and are all millionaires. Right. Same with the people who pivoted into AI. As long as you're in the game and don't go bust, don't die,
Stay in the game. Yeah.
you will win. You will win big. Just stay in the game. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Never quit.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and you have went through a long journey going from build cars when you are 5th, 6th grade to crypto, to build GMI, to build AI internet, enabling the product genius to build the futures of AI applications. If you put in the way, what is the one thing that connects the dots of your life journey?
One thing that connects the dot is persistence. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When actually you talk about
just commit.
The last advice I realized you actually perfect proof of
just commit and persistence. Yeah. When you can take your time to think through things, but when you think through, commit.
Exactly. Yeah. And another question related to that, if you go back to younger virtual self and tell them to do one thing differently, what do you would?
Doesn't matter how hard you think the problem that you're facing now, it's going to be trivial in the future. Yeah. Like literally, like I still remember like the first problem. I was like, oh, well, my co-founder's going to leave. It's so painful. And then now me thinking about it, it's like, it's honestly not a problem. I probably couldn't sleep for an entire week for something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And all the problems I face, I'm going to lose a customer. I'm going to lose my head of sales. It's not a big deal. I'll fall right asleep.
Exactly.
Everything's going to be fine.
Exactly.
Like, everything is going to be fine as long as you stay in the game. That's it.
Yes.
Don't quit.
Don't quit. Yeah. And you have a great point, actually, like everything you mentioned about persistence, staying in the game, and also believe, being optimistic, everything's going fine. It's about us really thinking about the long horizons, like take a step back and what is the true things you want to do, and don't get bothered by the small obstacles or the challenging features in the in each stages of you are. Just keep trying and things will be fine.
Yeah, but also I want to share a thought. It's not like a blind optimism into the things that you're doing, but everything has to be grounded in practical reality, right? Mm-hmm. And this also explains how I think about why I commit in this industry, or why I commit to do what I do, right? So like what you said, right? It's a long horizon. It's a marathon. It's never a sprint, right? Why I got into Bitcoin, right? Why I got into Bitcoin mining is because I observed there's a pattern in the crypto industry, right? Everything goes up and down, but Bitcoin is kind of the anchor, right? Of the industry, right?
Right.
It will not go anywhere. Like if Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up. If Bitcoin goes down, everything goes down, right? And so all I have to do, so my axiom is like, okay, crypto is going to be something, blockchain is going to be something in the future. All I have to do is bet on the beta, right? That is the most anti-fragile thing.
Yeah, the beta is the overall trend, the long horizon
the
trend.
long horizon. So I just bet on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin mining makes a lot of sense to me.
Right.
That I can bet 10 years. We're doing the same thing for 10 years. We'll be fine. Same thing with AI. You mentioned social media, right? You mentioned film, and you mentioned music. You mentioned robotics, right? All kinds of stuff, right? I don't know who's going to win. Maybe social media with Gen AI is a dead end. Maybe it will just be a tool. It will never be a generational social media company. It could be. Like, we don't know. But what is the biggest common denominator?
Yeah.
Everyone needs cards.
Yeah, the beta.
Everyone needs GPUs. The beta.
The beta, yeah.
So I can do this again and again and again and again and be confident of what I'm doing, no matter how hard the trouble is. Because I know the fundamental axiom doesn't change.
Right.
Which is this generation of Gen AI or LLMs or whatever big models, they all need compute.
Right.
So I just need to be a compute provider and make sure my product is kick-ass, is amazing, it's multitude better than the other competitors, then I will stay in the game for a long run.
Exactly, yeah. I think that's a perfect first principle thinking about the future. And like you mentioned about beta, which is a great framework. Just focus on the beta. Don't be bothered by the fluctuations. And related to that, I'm actually curious about your vision and your thinking of the beta in the future. If you work hard every day, sleep very less to build a GMI Cloud, to be the enabler. And 5 years from now, if GMI Cloud is successful, truly successful to your widest dream, what do you think the world will look like?
People won't talk about AI anymore. They just think it's a new way of interaction.
They will normalize because it's so common and all sorts of applications already have it.
Just like back in probably 2008 or something, people were like, oh, have you tried a new smartphone? Have you just tried a smartphone? Right now, it's just called phone.
Yeah, it's just called phone.
It's your phone.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's people like, oh, it's a new cool thing, but like, it's going to be your new application or a new way to interact with machine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a new silicon being that you interact.
And new general machine intelligence.
For us, we probably think, oh, it's a new thing. But like for probably our kids, our generation before, after, right? They'll be like, why are you searching? Why are you indexing? Why it takes you like so much of your time? It's just you type in and answer should pop up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, oh, why are you interacting with your phone? Right? Maybe you just like to talk to your glass. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's actually such a beautiful future. It's like the technology has enabled the whole society and people normalize and take it for granted. There's already tons of things in our life that we take it for granted. And this will be yet one more thing that will be taken for granted. And it's awesome that you built GMI Cloud to enable this vision. And this is a platform, and this is like tools that will be needed regardless of what applications that will be built on top of it. And really appreciate you sharing. And today I learned a ton, and I think our community members will also learn a ton from you. And we're truly excited for the future that you envisioned.
Likewise, thank you for letting me to share my thoughts and my ideas about the future.
Thanks for watching the full interview. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one.